Hey everyone, it's Jason, and are you tipping twice on your cruise? Tipping is a hot topic for debate, especially in the United States. We see many people that just simply have tipping fatigue. So here are 5 things to look out for when you are cruising so you're not wasting your money. Because unfortunately, the cruise lines can be a little sneaky when it comes to tipping. Also, on the last one, be aware of it because it catches a lot of people by surprise. So number 1, pre-booking. When you go into your planner and you pre-book things, and we're going to use the beverage package as an example, and I'm pulling up the icon of the seas. When you add this to your cart, you can see when you go into your cart to pay for it, you have gratuities added. It's an 18% gratuity added on top of your beverage package. Meaning, whenever you go to get a drink on the ship, you've already paid those gratuities when you get those drinks. So that's not something that you have to add in addition. Now, there is a little tip here that people do is they find a bar that they know they're going to go to a lot. They hand the guy maybe a 20 at the beginning and say, hey, you're my person, take care of me. And then there'll be another tip there at the end for you. And they'll hand them another 20 maybe at the end. That's what a lot of people will do if they have a bar that they kind of scoped out, that they know that they're going to go to a lot and frequent. And I'm telling you, I've seen people, they'll walk up and they'll just hand them their drink. They already have them ready for them. They're that keen on it. But that's not something that you have to do. You do not have to pay extra for tips. So just be aware. On this, we've already would pay $230 in tips on this beverage package. So if we would give any additional, you're tipping twice on that. So number 2, specialty dining. So let's say you get on board, you didn't pre-book anything, and you decide to do, let's say, for example, teppanyaki on Royal Caribbean. So you go, you have a great meal, you have great service, and you get your bill at the end, and you're going to see a charge there. Well, that charge is going to be with the 18% gratuity. So there's a couple things that you want to be aware of. One, you're going to see this line. And I hate to say it, but we've a lot of times been preconditioned. When we see a line, we want to add a tip to that. Understand, one, you do not have to. They've already been tipped. But if you want to add an additional tip, there's other considerations. One, just understand any tip that you add, make sure that you're calculating for the amount that was already tipped. Because you could find yourself giving 40-45% tip total on that meal. The other thing to consider too is when you write in a tip, that goes into the tipping pool. It does not go specifically to that waiter. Now, if you want to make sure that that's the way it works, because sometimes there is differences in other ships, just ask them, does this tip go directly to you? And every time I've ever asked that, I've been told no, it goes into the tipping pool. So my other thing that I would say to you is if you really want to make sure a specific person gets that tip, just bring an extra $10, or if you want $20 with you, and hand them that in cash, and don't add anything to that amount. Number 3, and this is one I'm going to caution you all on because I've heard a lot of people get taken advantage of or not understand this, is spa treatments. So spa treatments are expensive, $300 to $500. And you've just gotten out of a 90-minute massage. Your head's maybe not all there, and you maybe slept through it, and you get this bill at the end. And you realize, okay, it's $350. You see this line again, and you go, okay, 20%, that's an extra $70. So you write in $70. And then you get thinking a little later on, wait a second, was the tip already included in that? And what I found is people end up paying or tipping well over $100 on massages, and it's just, they got confused, and then they're like upset by that. And what I would just caution you to do is find out beforehand how much this massage is, what the tip is going to be, and what the total is. So you know that ahead of time. And then if you want to bring a little cash extra, like the specialty dining, bring an extra $20, hand them that at the end, and say thank you so much. Just be aware of spa treatments. So number 4, when you're buying your drinks individually, just know if you don't buy the beverage package and you're going to buy each one individually, every time they swipe that card or run that card, there is going to be gratuity added to that drink. You also get a ticket that sometimes you have to sign at the end, and then there will be a line there. Some cruise lines have where it says additional tip or additional gratuity, and others do not. So that can be a little sneaky on that because you get confused. But just be aware, every single cruise line adds a gratuity whenever they run your card for a drink. So if you want to add something and you add it to that tip line, once again, remember that goes to the pool in the bartenders. It does not go directly to that specific bartender. What some people will do is they'll bring some extra $1 bills with them and just hand them out as they go, as they order drinks. So that might be something that you keep in mind. Before I get to number 5, I would ask that you please like this video, as it does help the channel grow. Also consider subscribing, as I do daily cruise news shorts and tips and tricks. I also do longer cruise videos on Saturdays and Sundays at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. So number 5, and this is something that confuses a lot of newer cruisers, is automatic gratuities. Now, automatic gratuities is a daily rate charged per person per day to your shipboard account. Or you can also prepay those. Now, personally, I choose to pay them at the end of my cruise. It's just something that I prefer to do. Now, one thing I've heard a lot of newer cruisers say is they don't like being part of that automatic tipping pool, and they take that off because they want to only tip those that basically they had an interaction with. Now, I have had multiple conversations with waiters and stateroom attendants, and they all said, please don't do this, because it puts them in a precarious situation, because all those people that are part of that tipping pool help them do their job. So the reason why they're able to provide such amazing service is because of those people behind the scenes that are part of that tipping pool. So what I would caution you to do is not do that. But if you've had such amazing service, let's say from a stateroom attendant, is feel free to just give them even an extra $10. They really do appreciate just even a little extra. So leave those automatic tips on and maybe just give a little extra, $10, $20, and they will absolutely be very happy with that amount. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below. I will say this, I did this video to help gain awareness. I've seen a lot of new cruisers recently, and they've just been confused at who gets tips, where they go, and was their tips already included on many of these things. I want you to know that I would by no means ever say that you should not tip your crew members, because they make the cruising experience what it is. But I also think that you should tip those extra for those that made your experience even more special. So I do appreciate you guys watching. Once again, thank you so much for the support. It means a lot to me. And until I talk to you next time, happy cruising.